Man pikin dey the street dey hawk, still dem talk say make we no talk, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud oh yo yo, Mayegun don come oh yo yo. My people make
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today.
Mayegun diary political.
Thank you.
Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun diary.
Give me 1 minute. Did somebody say no sound? Thank you very much.
Lórí Facebook.
Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Somehow we are starting late, but I apologize for that. But I'll make it up to you. So if you have read the caption of this broadcast, like the broadcast, which is your own first thing to do, the offering, then share the broadcast, copy the link and share on every platform you think people should be part of this. It's quite interesting as well that it's going to be more informative as much as it's going to be more interesting too. Just about 24 hours ago, right, the Central Bank of Nigeria released a statement that we are sorry if 100 days seems not enough for people who want to change their money, old money, to the new one, that they are not going to have, they're not going to change it. The deadline was supposed to be the 31st of January. However, just as the deadline draws near, there were these endless, complaints, among the people that the new notes are not available. The banks are not releasing them. However, just 2-3 days ago, Kolu, that's Tifnumbu, yesterday at Tifku, they raised the alarm appealing to the, Kolu raised the alarm of the intentional, purpose why they are making that Naira scarcity in Nigeria, just like the fuel. So he believed that those doing that, Buhari and Emefiele, they are doing so to sabotage him from winning. But Atiku on his part was given his own reasons why the time is so short. Now, Emefiele said, well, we are sorry, we won't be able to change that. But the story changed this morning, which is what I am about to take you through. Remember, I have told you many times that Nigeria and the criminals in charge of Nigeria, they I would agree they enjoy it, right? They sort of enjoy seeing you suffer struggle, do you understand, for things that are so, that are never to bring any sort of a hardship or stress, things like changing your old note to the new one. But the intention of changing the money in Nigeria, as we all know, is political than it is economical. Nigeria is so broke that the Central Bank of Nigeria had to go and borrow money, take a loan, in order to be able to print new currency. Now, here is something they said. According to them, the inflation in Nigeria and the awaiting economic doom for Nigeria is going to come during the season of 2023 election. And this is going to be the time that the criminal politicians in Nigeria are going to bring out their stolen cash that they've stockpiled for so long. And they will begin to flood the economy with those cash. And since there is no, or there will be no goods or production to back up such cash, Nigeria will further go down the drain economically. That's Emefiele's theory. So to save Nigeria from this and force these people keeping this cash in their different homes to bring them out, most especially the politicians. So they had to recolor the Naira, change the color of their currency. Now, they wanted to mop up 2.7 trillion Naira or 2.8 trillion Naira that they believe were in the hands of politicians. Now, from October, listen to this, for you to know that whatever hardship you are facing right now is intentional, is man-made, and don't think there was actually like an error anywhere, but we'll get to that part. In October, he announced that they are going to change the Naira, and everybody should begin to walk around there returning their old Naira notes. So, if you have legitimate money that you can account for, and then you have the illegitimate money that you can't account for, and you are scared of the destruction of such money, or the impact, the destructive impact that such money will have on your economy, you decided that, okay, we can account for about 4 trillion, which is the money that you are using, not hiding. But 2.8 trillion, they can't account for that. So because they wanted to take back the 2.8 trillion, right, they decided, right, to keep the 4-point-something trillion in circulation rather than mop everything up. And as you are mopping them up, you are introducing the new notes into the economy. Abi, that's what should have been, Abi. For example, let's say Emefiele said since October, from October to January, that his policy has forced those who were keeping cash at home, the politicians and the rest of them, to release them. And Central Bank of Nigeria now have 1.9 trillion Naira from the 2.8 trillion Naira that made them change the color of the Naira. So which means they are now waiting for 900 billion Naira that they believe is still in the hand of the politicians. Now let's do the math here. You've changed the money, which means you must already have printed the exact equivalent of your your legitimate currency in the circulation, right? Your legitimate currency in the circulation was put at 4-point-something trillion, Abi. So let's say before as soon as you decide that you are going to introduce new money, there should have been at least 3 trillion equivalent cash that will replace the equivalent 1,000 Naira note, 500 Naira note, 200 Naira notes. And as you are taking those legitimate money back, because you didn't change money for 2.7 trillion only, you would have to mop up all of your printed cash. Then you control what is in circulation, Abi. So what they did is this. When Emefiele made that announcement, they didn't release the new notes to the bank. He made the announcement in October. Would you believe that they did not even show you what the new note will look like until December? The new notes did not hit the banks in Nigeria until 17th, 18th of December. So which means, and like I said, all of these were deliberate. But because it is a corrupt system, sure you get, the little cash that Emefiele released to the banks were trading them. How? Remember, if they had released this money they gave to the banks to you, you would have been experiencing the mixture of new notes and old notes since October 2022. But majority of you didn't touch that new note until this year, January. In fact, some of you didn't touch the new note until last week, while some of you are still waiting to even touch it as the deadline draw close. But here is the political part of it. The normal thing to be done is what I explained just now. Give you seamless, stressless swap and exchange, Abi. But you see, when Emefiele released the cash, the first tranche, now the banks, they call the politicians. The politicians didn't go to the bank to exchange any money. The banks were taking the cash in bulk like that. They are delivering them to the doorstep of the politicians and then offloading the old currencies that they have. Emefiele knows that. And that is why he first insisted that the deadline is deadline. Sorry if it's going to affect you. We are sorry. The deadline is deadline. Because they intentionally didn't release enough. Emefiele, central bank, didn't release enough. Because they know the corrupt system they have, right? That those they will release are going to end up in the hands of money traders. Can you believe that usually you will be exchanging forex, foreign dollars or pound sterling on the street from those who are exchanging money? This time around, people were selling Nigerian Naira on the streets. The little that managed to trickle out. But the chunk of the first and second tranches of Emefiele's money released, right, ended up in the hands of the same politicians that Emefiele made a policy to recolor your Naira. Do you get that? It is like cutting, how do they say that? It's like cutting your nose to spite your eyes, plucking your eyes to spite your nose or something like that. It is political. Their report said that all of them, including reps, senator, all these guys are money bags, criminals who have stockpiled enough cash, right, just to buy vote, to buy election. But the aftermath of that is going to be, keep it. But before yesterday, there were some dramas going on that some of you probably may not be privy to. All of this effort from different political APC, PDP, they were behind the scene. They are pushing and pushing, threatening, intimidating Emefiele since October. They know, they know themselves. They know them. They know why this is happening. They know it's targeted at them. But because somehow, as they say in Yoruba, when dog is mad, he go sometimes recognize the face of his owner. Tajaban senwi, ama moju olowo. That's exactly where the hypocrisy and cowardice of these criminals continue to show to you. Emefiele by law is not answerable to anybody. Do you understand? Emefiele, the central bank governor, is not answerable to anybody in a way. Not that answerable that way. What I mean is that nobody can sack him. He can only resign. Nobody can sack him. And they know that. And they also know that Emefiele didn't change money or bring about all this Jankara Buharinomics theory without the consent of Buhari. They know that. They do. But if Buhari is holed up inside the asshole rock, they can still wield some power, bunch of cowards, and
maybe force Emefiele to. So before then, before this issue of deadline, no deadline, these guys have already passed resolution in the National Assembly. And you know what their resolution is, Emefiele and Buhari, they are trying to stop these money bags to infiltrate Nigeria economy with this dirty stolen money that will eventually destroy your economy, according to them. But and they have to do this before the election. But you see these rogues, esprit de corps, at the National Assembly, they have made resolution. That decision of exchanging money, all of this thing, it must be postponed till the 31st of July. I mean, who cares anymore after February? Nobody cares about central bank. Whether you go to bank, you see new note or you don't see, nobody cares about that anymore. But Emefiele said he has managed to recover 1.9 trillion. Say 900 billion. Some people said, when the 900 billion to Okowa and the Tifnumbu hand. Now their hand the money day. And as it be so, there is no new note. Because Emefiele didn't release enough cash. And that is why all of you are suffering and experiencing this type of hardship, and good enough to the advantage of the criminals, it seems to be working. But it be like they give somebody rope. Emefiele and Buhari this morning or this afternoon agreed that, extend it by 10 days. Increase the money you are going to release. But they know the money you are still, in 10 days, you are still going to be struggling to get the Naira. You know why? Because as the central bank is releasing the money to the banks, the politicians are taking them in bulky. So you will end up having to suffer it still or devise a means of whatever, because Emefiele and Buhari, they have postponed it now to the 10th of February. Their election is 25th of February. How much of those cash would they be able to mop up? It doesn't really matter, does it? But let me take you down the drama. About 4 days ago, at their 3 days ago, at their Nigerian Senate, they were discussing the new notes. And in their arguments, me versus you, this ensued. I think it should be this.
I have very important questions.
From time to time. My worry, Mr. President, is that the CBN governor, who is seeking our support, have in the past shown absolute disrespect for these hollow chambers. There are several invitations that the man has been invited here, which has not turned up. Mr. President, it is not within our own jurisdiction to give support to what the CBN wants to do, because they're autonomous. They can go ahead and do this. It will be ridiculous for us to sit down here as a Senate and say that we're giving legislative support to CBN to do what has already been done. The president has approved the money, they're already printing it. And so, what are we talking about here? But having said that, Mr. President, now, Senator Betty mentioned very germane issues here. The implication of the economy, both on the monetary and the fiscal policy of this government. What has happened, Mr. President, is that announcement alone, our inflation rate has moved from where we're set to about 51%. About 51%, Mr. President. And so when you are taking a position such as this, you must be mindful. If the CBN had wanted our support, we are major stakeholders in the economy of this country. One would have expected that there would have been proper consultation, even though it is our exclusive preserve to do what they are doing. But then there was no consultation. After the printing has commenced, the president has approved and said our legislative support. It would be ridiculous for us to go ahead and do that. Let him go ahead and do what he's doing. Mr. President, yes. Let him go ahead. Let him go
Thank you, Senator Suswan. Senator Suswan, thank you. You've had your piece. Thank you very much. Senator Akpan. And thereafter,
Mr. President, and the Central Bank of Nigeria for this initiative. Mr. President, we must be properly guided. 50, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, it was trade by barter. Naira came. Then the card came. I can tell you all over the world, no economy is guided by cash. We must be in tune with current global realities. All over the world, we now have digital currencies. All over the world. Mr. President, the volume of the current Naira outside the central bank control system can never augur well for our economy. It can never augur well for our economy. People are stashing away billions of Naira cash, trillions of cash all over the world in this country. So we must support the Central Bank of Nigeria. I'm not sure you are certain here that we are guided by the extant laws. That law, made by the National Assembly, does not require Central Bank of Nigeria to seek the support of the National Assembly. It does not. The Central Bank of Nigeria is carrying out its regulatory function and duty. So I commend the chairman banking. So there should be no further discussions on this matter.
Senator Akman, take your seat. Senator, I will now take your seats. Take your seats. Gentlemen, please take your seats. Please take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. Senator Akpan. Senator Akpan. Senator Akpan. Senator Akpan, take your seats. Please take your seats. Gentlemen, take your seats. Wait. Take your seats. 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 Take your seats, please. I will go to the prayers. Prayer number one. Prayer number one. Urge the Senate to provide Prayer number one. Urge the Senate to provide legislative support for the redesign of the new banknotes. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Mandate the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions to embark on an aggressive oversight to ensure that Nigerians are adequately protected from the CBN, banks, and other agencies involved in the process. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer number 3. Encourage Nigerians and the general public to comply with the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive to deposit cash holdings at their respective commercial banks. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer number 4. Urge the Senate to support the decision of the CBN, given the aforementioned benefits of the currency redesign to the nation. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Point of order. Senator Baribe.
Actually, for you to put the question. So now that you have put the question, my order is now null and void.
Noted.
Those ones are the senior colleagues. And their job is that, look at those charades, look at that. The first person that spoke is Gabriel Suswan, the former governor of Benue State, a thief that retired to the Senate after being governor of Benue, Abi? Suswan? Yeah, Benue. Then the last one in red cap is Oji Uzokalu, the convicted thief that was sentenced to prison for looting Abia State's money when he was governor there. He joined APC, and somehow, Supreme Court says he is free to go with his loot, and he returned back to the Senate. So there's nothing to see there. Everything else they discussed, it was just like a rubber stamp, because the deed is done. That's what the second guy said. I mean, even Suswan, listen, Buhari don't give the order. They've already printed the money. What support are you talking? But despite the extension, Bajabia Amule's chamber, the House of Representatives, they have rejected the 10 days extension. She Emefiele mad. Wait till they were say, July 31st is when we wanted to change to be the deadline. We want to do all the election in case if we even need to go to tribunal anywhere, so that we can see, you know what I mean? We can still get this bag of money. But, I mean, take a look at their own drama too, just about a day or so ago.
From time to time.
I have very important question to ask.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer the question.
The question, Mr. Speaker, was how do we want them to...
Order, please.
Chief Whip.
There was one question about
Order, please.
The notes that were ordered.
Order, please.
Everybody has one question or the other agitating their minds, and we are not able to take everybody. Otherwise, we'll be here till 6 in the morning. I think we have had an adequate, broad section of questions from members. You have one more? You are enjoying your stay here with us?
No, sir. No, sir. You asked a question.
The CBN must not restrict people choices through coercion of a policy for their own good. Mr. Speaker, can the CBN tell Nigerians how much was printed out of this new currency? How much was printed? Why did I ask that question? Because today, if you jump into the bank and you want to withdraw money, the money is not available. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the most successful countries in the world that succeeded in cashless economy are the 3 Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. Their population is not up to Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, we must consider 3 sectors if we want these things to be successful within a short time. The banking sector, we know as of today, the banking sector does not have the infrastructure to cope up with the baseline of base customer line that will come into this net of cashless. The second sector is the power sector. Mr. Speaker, last 3 weeks we went to Binungwari. There was no electricity, there was no telecom sector, and that's the next sector to make this policy successful. The banking sector, because of the infrastructure and the employees, the power sector, and the telecom sector. Mr. Speaker, I think the CBN should be retrospective, should think inward, should think out of the box if truly we want this to be successful, so they should slow down. If the CBN will have this policy 2012 with a policy of withdrawal daily, and it was successful, they enjoyed it, they have all the data, why do they have to restrict people now withdrawal weekly? Why won't they continue daily withdrawal of 500,000 and daily withdrawal of 5 million? Because it has been practiced, people are used to it, and there was no shock in the economy, there was no decline in the economic activities. Mark you, the greater part of, the role cash play in the macroeconomic activities of this country, from Bayelsa to Birni Kebbi. You know the small markets that we have. You know the volume of trading that takes place is basically cash transaction. So I think the CBN should have this policy with human face. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The final one, sir. Sorry. Okay, how much was printed? I'm sorry, I'm not able to share that figure now only because I want to give an accurate number. Yes, sir. There was the petition from the mobile and bank agents.
So sorry, the question was how much money was printed.
Yes.
And your answer was that you don't have the exact.
Yes, I would prefer.
Okay. No, it's okay. She's giving her answer.
Yes.
Go ahead with the next question, please. Go ahead. Honorable members. We're here for a briefing. We asked for a briefing. She has briefed us. You have asked your questions. She has answered the question the way the question is how much was printed. She doesn't know. You can't force that out of her. She doesn't know. Let's move on to the next question.
There was a petition from the mobile money agents.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
Honorable colleagues. I'm about to bring this briefing to a close. If we know we don't want any more briefing, I will close this briefing. We've asked for briefing. Honorable Lumelu, please take your seat. Honorable Maki, please. Honorable members.
CBN Governor, my question is very simple and straight. Why is this policy too urgent to be implemented? Now we are about having an election in Nigeria. One problem too many at a time. Are you not seeing it as an opportunity for the ruling party to rig out opposition parties in this? Are you not seeing it? I have the floor. I am entitled to my question. Mr. Speaker, protect me. Because
Thank you, Honorable Chinedu. Thank you. Honorable members, made your point.
CBN Governor, my question is simple. Why is this policy too urgent to be implemented now? We are about facing the general election.
Thank you.
And let me just re-echo one line. Are you not seeing it as an opportunity for the ruling party to rig out opposition parties? Thank you.
Question for the person that is standing in for the CBN governor. First, I want to commend you because I'm going to have it. I'm looking at it from different perspectives. I want to commend you because you articulated the benefits to us as a country. And if these policies are actually implemented, it will reduce a lot of fraudulent activities within the country. No, I said I want to commend her. No. Listen. No, see, we have to look at it from different perspectives. Your perspective.
If you look at his back pocket, that guy talking, you go see Agbado there. Now them, they talk, they know they make sense. Do you see the guy before him? He is being honest. His supposition. And according to him, you may not have money to run your business because they are not giving you Naira. You see that honorable representing you is worried that he is not going to have access to cash, new cash, before the election. Is that not an attempt to rig the opposition? You see, everybody with his whatever is affecting them. Sure, you get. Central bank representative couldn't say how much central bank has printed. I mean, what is wrong with that? Okay, if you can't say how much you have printed, see, if you go online now, as bad as Nigeria is, sure you get. If you go online now to Central Bank of Nigeria's website, and then you get to know. In fact, you don't need to go to their website. Just go online and search for how much Naira is in circulation right now. There is this Dengere figure there. There is a figure they will tell you. So Kiwani, what is it that they can't tell you how much Naira they have printed? And some of you yourself, it be like some of you say you today overreact. You make it look like there is no Naira anymore. There is no money to spend anymore. I heard that your 50 Naira is still active. Your 20 Naira, they haven't changed that. Your 10 Naira, they haven't changed that. Your 100 Naira, they haven't changed that. Why can't they just be paying you with all of that? And let these criminals deal with themselves? Because the new noto, the old noto, majority of it, the chunk of it goes to them, not you. Or have I started victim blaming now? Because I don't blame you, the victim, Abi. I'm just saying. Look at the clowns. Look at all of them. They will say a lot of things, but I want to be honest with you. The guy in red cap, that is the most honest of them all, who was very honest and said, they don't want us to have access to cash so that we can buy votes as opposition. That's new, isn't it? Well, Emefiele walked out of the Old Rock Villa this afternoon, and then he spoke to the press, saying that they have postponed it by 10 days. After this announcement, the House of Representatives that you saw just now, they decided that they are going to sign his arrest warrant. They will issue his arrest warrant, but none of them could actually say, where's Buhari now? Oga Buhari, you are Oga now. Why can't you do something? They were expecting an extension that will be after the election. Emefiele came out and said, no. We are going to extend it by just 10 days and all of that. So it's going to be that. So drama ahead.
Well, thank you very much and good morning. As you can see, I have just finished a meeting with Mr. President to update him on all the plans and actions that we have taken towards the implementation of the new Naira redesign program. But before I take questions, let me read this press statement. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Like you can see, I have just ended a meeting with Mr. President. The purpose of the meeting is to provide Mr. President with updates about the implementation status of the CBN currency redesign program currently going on across the Federation. First, I'd like to continue to thank Mr. President for giving the CBN the approval to embark on this ambitious program because, like I had said in the past, the Central Bank of Nigeria has not had the opportunity to embark on such currency redesign program in the last 19 years. And indeed, let me emphasize that only an incorruptible leader of the president's stature can give such approval to the CBN. Ladies and gentlemen, from the onset of this currency redesign program, we made it clear that for 19 years, the CBN hasn't been able to conduct this important aspect of its mandate, whereas this should normally have been done within a 5 to 8 year window. Our aim mainly is to make our monetary policy decisions more efficacious And like you can see, we've started to see inflation trending downwards and the exchange rate is relatively stable. Secondly, we aim to support the efforts of our security agencies in combating banditry and ransom taking in Nigeria through this program, and we can see that the military are making a good progress in this important task in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, available data at the Central Bank of Nigeria has shown that in 2015, currency in circulation was only 1.4 trillion naira. As at October 2022, currency in circulation had risen to 3.23 trillion naira, out of which only 500 billion was within the banking industry, and 2.7 trillion held permanently in people's homes. Ordinarily, when CBN releases currency into circulation, it is meant to be used, and after a friction of time, it returns to the CBN, thereby keeping the volume of currency in circulation under the firm control of the CBN. So far, and since the commencement of this program, we have collected about 1.9 trillion naira, leaving us with about 900 billion to 1 trillion naira, and 1 trillion naira to be collected. To achieve this effective distribution of the new currency, the CBN has taken the following steps. A, we held several meetings with our deposit money banks and provided them with guidance notes on processes they must adopt in the collection of old notes and distribution of the new notes to all Nigerians. These include specific directives to deposit money banks to load new notes into their ATMs nationwide to ensure an equitable and transparent mechanism for the distribution of the new notes to all Nigerians. B, we commenced the nationwide sensitization through the print and electronic media to create an awareness on the redesign notes to Nigerians, including collaboration with the National Orientation Agency to reach all Nigerians across multiple channels. C, we deployed 30,000 super agents nationwide to assist in our cash swap initiative in the hinterlands, rural areas, and regions underserved by banks in the country to ensure that the weak and vulnerable ones amongst us can swap or exchange their old notes. D, we deployed all our staff, particularly those of the grades of assistant director, deputy directors, and directors in Abuja, to proceed to all CBN branches nationwide to join the mass mobilization campaign and monitoring program, working with the deposit money banks, agents, and our branch controllers across the 36 states of the Federation. This is meant to ensure compliance with all our guidelines already issued for smooth implementation of the program. Although we have received some reports of breaches by some bank branches, we have agreed with the executive chairman of the EFCC and ICPC to assist us by sending their staff to all CBN and bank branches nationwide to join in monitoring the implementation of these guidelines. The aim is to ensure compliance with the laid down guidelines. E, we are happy that so far the exercise has achieved a success of over 75% of the 2.7 trillion naira held outside the banking system. Nigerians in the rural areas, our villages, the aged and the vulnerable have had the opportunity to swap their old notes, leveraging the Agent Naira Swap Initiative, as well as the CBN senior staff nationwide sensitization exercise. F, aside from those holding illicit and stolen Naira in their homes for speculative purpose, we do aim to give all Nigerians that have Naira legitimately earned and trapped the opportunity to deposit their legitimately trapped monies at the CBN for exchange. Based on the foregoing, we have today sought and obtained Mr. President's approval for the following. 1, a 10-day extension of the deadline from January 31, 2023 to February 10, 2023 to allow for collection of more old notes legitimately held by Nigerians and achieve more success in cash swap in our rural areas, in our villages and communities, after which all old notes outside the CBN loses their legal tender status. Our CBN staff, currently on mass mobilization and monitoring, together with officials of the EFCC and ICPC, will work together to achieve these objectives in the coming days. 2. A 7-day grace period beginning on February 10 to February 17, 2023, in compliance with Section 20, subsection.
Let me save you the long read. And the credit to that video goes to Channels Television, same as other clips used as well. There's one Voice of Nigeria, and there's one Viable TV. We appreciate them. So the bottom line now is that the battle has now been shifted to the 10th of February. However, immediately after he made that statement and press statement or review, which also right now you can say carries the seal and then the authority of Buhari. But look at these cowards. They are unable to mention him or even like call Buhari out. They can't. If they mention his name, they will be pleading with him. But when they mention Emefiele, oh, it's all about we're going to take him down. We're going to show him. Now, they said that in the next coming days, they are likely going to sign his arrest warrant. So they will arrest Emefiele. But they can't do anything to Buhari. But some people said, man, forget the whole thing, Jerry. Don't make it look like anything. It's just the same APC, Egbe's failure in policy formulation and implementation, because none of this whole thing is formulated because they have your interest at heart. When it comes to monetary, when it comes to security, when it comes to everything, it's not because they have you at heart. No, it's about them. And that is why the next coming days, as I sympathize with some of you who are going to get caught in the crossfire, and you are many. Yeah, you are. Just pray that the whole thing is not beyond the 10th of February. Or if they increase it again, well, maybe you will only have a respite, a peace, after they must have expended all of their money during the elections, right? The man that threatened and then said that the reason why all this scarcity are happening is because they want to sabotage his victory. Tifnumbu. Do you know he's actually in Edo today? And he's having a town hall meeting in Edo. As they will say, town hall is different from Bulaba, Bala Blue, Blue, and all of that. Let me take you to Edo. Because as it is, the Lagos Abobakus, the Bati Dioti, the Sai Barbarians, guess what they are doing right now? They are celebrating. They say, Ashiwaju of the universe. The moment Ashiwaju talk like this, who born Emefiele, he has to extend it. Guess what? Ashiwaju will still tell them to extend it. No, none of you can know the how close Ashiwaju and Buhari out they are. They are bragging about it. They are so happy. On the other hand, you will see the articulated morons, the articulators, the articulated mugus, also celebrating. They say when Kolu said that they are hoarding Naira and fuel, Atiku came. Nobody answered him. The moment Atiku came out like this, Emefiele said, "Oh yeah, let's extend it." You see, Obongbo Bogokwe, monkey they carry monkey climb palm tree. However, Kolu is back in Benin, holding a town hall. Different. This is what you have to say about the Oba of Benin. I'm going to also take you to Port Harcourt at some point, if you still have that time tonight. Sorry, I don't have any other thing to add to it on this your Naira issue. I just thought I should let you know that whatever shege you are facing right now, because of this new Naira note, old Naira note, Baba, I can't help, nobody can help. The shege is just about to start. Just brace up, improvise, because everything you are witnessing today is deliberate, is man-made. Emefiele that is releasing money in tranches, not thinking about you. He cares more about the criminals keeping the cash in their homes, not you who need to use that same cash every day. He wants a cashless economy in a country. that barely distributed 3,000 megawatts of electricity for 200 million people. But they want a cashless economy whereby, you know, it's all joke. So whatever you are going through right now, my only advice for you is that, please, you should continue. I mean, you should keep going. You know what they say? If you are going through hell, the best advice is that you should continue going. At the end of the day, you will get to the end of it. Or you will get used to it. You will acclimatize. You will improvise. And then you will learn how to survive. So whatever you are facing right now because of this Naira, this or that, just pray that indeed, by the 10th of February, you won't have another extension, because the people that are making it hard for you to access the same Naira, making it difficult for you to exchange that old Naira, they are still the same people extending the days. It's like extending somebody's suffering. Sure, you get. I'm going to take you to Edo, where Kolu is holding a town hall meeting. A town hall.
I don't see a nation with this number of vehicles who are unable to produce brake pad, ordinary brake pad.
Oh, did I warn you? I'm so sorry. See, I just took you into it straight away without warning. Please prepare your mind, right? Just to have a little bit of a comical relief or a comical break. You're about to listen to Kolu. No go they think you want to listen to a presidential candidate or anything reasonable. So don't blame me at the end of it. Oh God, man, who is this man? I am warning you now. And he just said something about being back there. Yeah. That they, you know, before it was like they couldn't make a deposit for a roasted corn for the electricity. Listen attentively and crack up a bit. I've got loads of them here to share with you. From Edo, Bini.
I don't see a nation with this number of vehicles who are unable to produce brake pad, ordinary brake pad, not to talk of muffler, exhaust pipe, they say they won't come back. They can abuse Buhari from morning till night in order here. Now abuse continue, but the railway line is there. Port is there. Second Niger Bridge is there. Ibadan Expressway is there. Our port will come alive and connect Ondo and Edo and make it a market of prosperity and joy. And make it in the abuse. So they
make una dey abuse Buhari. Party e dey. Lagos Ibadan Road e dey. Second Niger Bridge e dey. Make una dey abuse Buhari, e no dey here. That is deaf and dumb. The last time he met with him. APC presidential candidate. Right? Here is another one. From the same Edo.
Excuse me from Otobo. So many of you are extremely dear and important to us. The good name by name is Emefiele. I will just say, dear committed party members, may God bless you. Sinwar, the great Nigerian youth, the great Nigerian youth, the greatest of the greatest Nigerian youth, the greatest of 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 the greatest. I apologize for keeping you waiting, but it's still your matter that is keeping me, that was keeping me waiting. When problems fall over one another.
Sorry. About the greatest of 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 the greatest. It doesn't make any sense. See, if you are actually looking to, if you are expecting Tinubu to make a whole statement that you can even like possibly ask if it's true or not, yeah, he can't. Some people believe that probably he's even drunk. And others say that no, he's not drunk. And I believe the latter, right? Which is that he's not drunk. If you are on a lot of medication, sure you get. For everybody who knows about healthcare and all of that, sure you get. If you have to like use a lot of medication to manage so many kind of ailments and all that, there are some of them that can actually make you drowsy or feel so tired or sleepy. Seriously, yeah. Some say maybe you don't shag banana. No. Let's leave that for now, okay? Let's leave all that banter. Let's look at what is right. Because some of you are so hard to convince. You are so hard to convince. But think about what I said. Because you see, in this country, right, I've been closer to people who have to use a lot of medication, right, for different treatment and all that. Sometimes when they use some, they become so drowsy, like, when they talk, they become kind of they slow when they talk. They are not drug addict or anything. Sure you get. So Tifnumbu, you know, is suffering from, you can tell physically, So imagine the bag of Tifnumbu's medicine that they are carrying about with him. Just imagine. Or some of them that are going to be like injection and all of that. You saw those shaking and all that. He's receiving treatment for all of them. All those things, they may not put ambulance light on their cars, or they may put ambulance in their convoy. On that convoy of Tifnumbu, they are carrying emergency blood transfusion. Emergency this, emergency that, in case of any emergency. So if you see Tifnumbu that looks so drowsy, lost, disoriented, and all of that, long about, may God forgive me and Sheyi. I be waiting you go talk. You go see curse them like this, or you go just say, may God just forgive Remy and Sheyi. Tifnumbu that you are seeing so, you can only imagine, how much of a jag up they have to give to him for him to function for just few hours. For him to be able to like appear and attend and say, oh, okay, for just few hours. And they have to do the same thing to him every day to pump him up like that. So the drowsiness is not that maybe he's using drug or anything. Leave the banter. Maybe we shouldn't rule that out, okay? But I'm saying this to you as well. Think about that. Here is another one from the same Edo. The greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. Okay, forget that. Here.
It is because of your importance, because of who you are, and the fact that they said you have been here to try. Otherwise, I was running to the airport to escape. And I said, no. You don't go escape. If it is 2 minutes, you have to address these people. They have been there. I thank all of you. I thank you. But there is not something that we have to address. Unity in our country. Let me first of all commend the victim 14 of our people that they refused to swear this morning and they didn't allow to say. God will always stand by you all. I stand before you committed to your cause. We will not let you down. To you, the great people of Edo, take your state back.
Apart from where he said, I will not let you down, or something like that. Tell me what else you could pick from that 2 minutes video that you remember. I'll read the comments. Tell me what you picked up. We are committed. All our members that are back. Edo, take your state back. That's the result of drug, medication, over-medication, medication upon medication and all of that. Whoa, somebody just said that. Fee medication lejari. No, they talk medication with it. Baba is shan koni. I told you, a lot of you are very hard to convince. So I'm not even going to try. Okay? I'm not going to try any longer. I believe that it's over-medication. But some of you believe that about banani. My live story. Medication Oshi. You wish medication. Banani. Here is another one.
Why? Because you are not my God. You are not my creator. And God has taught me, even if you are sad, I will share in your sorrow. If you are happy, I will rejoice with you. If you are poor, I will share my little with you. We are here tonight. I just want to beg you, start the old word by word meetings. You have to join hands and believe in one another. You see them, G5, G this, V that, they don't know the road. They are just kata people. They say a custom officer, former,